think Max smokes him like a brisket.
You think so?
Like the thing is, Conor has the power. Like that's not gonna, no matter the injury, that's gonna be there still.
And Max Holloway can. He is so well conditioned and so aware of his ability and not stretching himself.
I'm gonna go towards Max Holloway, and I'm leaning towards Max Holloway, but I don't know if, like, McGregor's gonna at least have 10 pounds on him, dude. He has put on a lot of size.
In terms of fluidity, speed, and all the rest of it, and putting combinations together, there's no one in the UFC that does that better than Max Holloway anyway, so of course he has the advantage there. But when it comes to raw, one-punch knockout power, of course you got to give that to McGregor, right? That left hand is phenomenal, whether it's an uppercut, a straight left, whatever it is. It'll put people to sleep. And certainly, at 170 pounds, when McGregor's going to naturally be the bigger guy, he's going to have a big power advantage. But the longer the fight goes, as it starts to get into the championship rounds, Max is probably going to pull away with the stamina and the cardio, right?
The Notorious is finally making his long-awaited return, and fans are beyond excited to watch him step back into the Octagon at UFC 329 against Max Holloway. Supporters, as well as professional fighters, had been eagerly waiting for Conor's comeback for a very long time, and now the anticipation has finally come to an end.
Max Holloway versus Conor McGregor. It's a badass card. We got a badass summer coming up.
However, Max Holloway revealed that he had known about the Conor McGregor fight for more than 6 months, but chose to keep the information completely private. He even joked about how difficult it was to stay silent and hold back such massive news for such a long period of time.
First stream since the announcement. Oh, you guys know how hard it is? You know how hard it is to keep that fight under wraps? For how long we did? We knew that fight for a minute, bruh. Glad it's coming through, you know? Well, we see though. We see how it goes July 11th. You think his mic skills is gonna be the same? Of course his mic. Why wouldn't his mic skills be the same? Why wouldn't it be, boys? Oh yeah, I'm excited, brother. I get to eat during all of camp. I get to eat what I want to eat, boys. Imagine I miss weight at 170. Holy shit. What am I doing? What the hell am I doing, you know? Oh. Every fight is a hard fight, bro. Conor's still dangerous, bro. You'd be dumb as hell to think he's not.
Reacting to his highly anticipated comeback, Conor McGregor thanked fans for the overwhelming support and admitted that the encouragement had given him extra motivation as he prepared for an intense training camp. He made it clear that he feels fully energized and ready to prove himself once again on the biggest stage in MMA. McGregor shared a message with fans, expressing gratitude for all the love and support he had received over the past few days. He explained that the positive response had fueled his motivation heading into a demanding camp and praised the team around him, including his coaches and training partners. According to McGregor, everyone in the gym is completely locked in and focused on the challenge ahead. He also confidently stated that he feels better than ever and is excited for the opportunity to once again showcase his mastery of martial arts to the world. At the same time, Georges St-Pierre admitted he has concerns about McGregor's return, fearing that fans may not see the same dominant version of Conor after such a long layoff. GSP explained that it would be heartbreaking to watch McGregor return and not perform anywhere close to the level that once made him one of the sport's biggest stars. However, he also acknowledged that McGregor is chasing major fights rather than small opportunities, which he believes is the correct mindset. St-Pierre added that if he were part of McGregor's team, he would warn him to prepare for an all-out war because the road back to the top will demand an extremely brutal level of preparation. Despite the challenges, GSP still believes McGregor is capable of pulling it off and said the comeback will be very interesting to watch unfold. Meanwhile, Nikki Sabedarian questioned the way Dana White and the UFC handled the announcement of McGregor's comeback. He argued that the rollout lacked clarity and purpose, suggesting that a return of this magnitude deserved a much bigger and more focused presentation. Vidarian felt that too much attention was placed on confusion surrounding the weight class and matchup details, instead of properly highlighting the importance of McGregor's return. In his view, this was not just another fight announcement, but a major moment for the sport that deserved a far stronger spotlight.
Do that during what is clearly a massive event in sports, not just in MMA, but in sports. Like, what is the objective? Was it because you didn't want people to really pay attention to Conor McGregor coming back? Was there some criticism you were expecting because the opponent, you know, fights at 145 or 155 and Conor's walking around at 185? Like, honestly, it made no sense to me. I expected it. I saw all the chatter all week long, and I felt bad for Conor. Like, I'm so happy he's back. That's the biggest personality the sport has ever had. The #1 revenue driver the sport has ever had. So great for the business, great for UFC, great for fans. Give him his own moment. Give him a big announcement. Have him there. Do a press conference. Do something.
What did you know? What are the biggest improvements you saw in Max in each time you fought him?
The last time I fought him, punching power, for sure. He was sitting down on his punches more, and I could feel the power. In the second fight, it was more the output Max, volume, but not a whole lot of knockdown power. So Max for sure is a volume puncher, but at 55, when I fought him last, he had power behind his shots, and I got to think at 170, he's gonna have even more power, because Max can punch now, man. He's not just a volume puncher, he can finish fights. Yeah.
Meanwhile, Dustin Poirier believes Max Holloway could become even more dangerous if he moves up to welterweight for a fight against Conor McGregor. Poirier explained that Holloway already possesses legitimate punching power at lightweight, and he expects the added size and strength at 170 pounds to make his strikes even more impactful. According to Poirier, moving up in weight could allow Holloway to carry greater force into his shots, making him an even tougher challenge for McGregor inside the octagon.
I'm going to go towards Max Holloway, and I'm leaning towards Max Holloway, but I don't know if McGregor's going to at least have 10 pounds on him, dude. He has put on a lot of size. Is that a recipe for disaster for him if this does go into the later rounds? Yes. I'm talking about a McGregor fight in 2026. I'm breaking down a Conor McGregor fight in 2026, dude. I actually can't believe I'm saying these words. We're so back. The White House card, Strickland beats Chimaev. If only Yuri wouldn't have fumbled it. Yuri, you fool. It's all good though, man. We're so back.
MMA Guru is backing Max Holloway in the potential matchup against Conor McGregor. However, he also pointed out that McGregor's added size could become a serious factor as the fight progresses. MMA Guru questioned how McGregor will perform after being away from competition for such a long period, especially during the later rounds when conditioning, timing, and durability are pushed to the limit. In his view, this fight would not simply mark McGregor's return to the octagon, but would also serve as a major test of how his body and overall sharpness respond under elite-level pressure.
It makes it interesting in the later rounds because McGregor's put on some big size and he's been inactive. And of course his calf is going to be a target for Max Holloway, although that's not something that Holloway typically does. It's not like a weapon of his that McGregor has to watch out for. And McGregor's going to have a lot of power at 170 though on the other side of things. And Holloway just had a lot of momentum snatched away from him by Charles Oliveira. And this is very quickly announced as well. Like last week this was rumored and then now it's official. And I feel like that's by design from Conor McGregor. Maybe Holloway was hearing about some things, but this doesn't really give Holloway time to think about adjusting to 170. He's probably going to show up in 155 shape and just not cut the weight at all. I'm leaning towards Holloway, though. I don't think you can just dip in and out of this game. McGregor is really good, and he's going to be dangerous early, and it would be interesting and crazy if he does just chin Holloway immediately. Then we'd be talking.
On the other hand, Jorge Masvidal believes Conor McGregor's lifestyle could become a major obstacle in his comeback. Masvidal compared McGregor's party-heavy lifestyle with Max Holloway's disciplined and focused way of living, suggesting that the difference between the two could play a huge role inside the octagon. According to Masvidal, McGregor's public image is not simply for show, but reflects the way he genuinely lives outside the sport. Masvidal pointed out that Holloway lives a completely different kind of life, centered around training, family, and consistency. He mentioned that Holloway is rarely involved in negative headlines and is constantly focused on the gym and his responsibilities outside fighting. In Masvidal's view, that disciplined lifestyle pays massive dividends over time, especially for athletes trying to maintain elite performance levels. He explained that a fighter can stay away from the sport for years and still return in strong form if they continue living with discipline and dedication throughout that period. Meanwhile, Tim Welch also expressed doubts about the fight happening at welterweight, highlighting McGregor's long period of inactivity as a serious concern. Welch emphasized Holloway's relentless volume striking, durability, and nonstop pace over 5 rounds as key advantages in the matchup. According to him, this fight would not simply be another return bout for McGregor, but a true test of whether his conditioning and endurance can survive sustained elite pressure across championship rounds.
Conor's been out for 5 years, half a decade. Not the best fight to make, in my opinion. Max Holloway is probably, he's one of the most slick guys. He fights southpaw, he fights orthodox, he'll stomp your legs, he'll teep your body, he'll piece you up with his punches. 5 rounds. I know McGregor and those guys were pushing for 3 rounds. Max Holloway is the king at 5 rounds. I know some of his sparring partners, he's got some good southpaw sparring partners that throw their 2 nice and slick and that faster than probably McGregor does at this point. How will Conor's cardio hold up? 37 years old, and we're jumping straight into a 5-round main event.
Tim Welch questioned the decision to match Conor McGregor against Max Holloway for his comeback, arguing that fights against Paddy Pimblett or Jack Della Maddalena would have been more realistic and suitable options. In Welch's opinion, those matchups could have provided McGregor with a smoother path back into high-level competition after such a long layoff from the sport. Even so, Welch still believes Holloway has the tools to overwhelm McGregor over the course of 5 rounds through non-stop pressure, elite durability, and a relentless fighting pace. He sees this matchup as more than just a controversial booking choice, viewing it instead as a serious test that could reveal whether McGregor still possesses the readiness, timing, and rhythm needed to compete against elite opponents at the highest.
And I just feel like they could have made some sweeter fights. I feel like they could have made some sweeter fights. I feel like Conor McGregor versus Paddy Pimblett could have been a little bit more competitive. We saw Paddy. The Paddy that fought Gaethje, put that Paddy in front of McGregor. How does it go? How does it go? Or what's your thought on this fight? The former welterweight champion, number 4 in the world at welterweight, Jack Maddalena versus Conor McGregor. Jack's more of an orthodox boxer, not as fast twitch. That would have been a sweeter fight to me, and it would have been, I think, more competitive of a boxing match with 4-ounce gloves. I think Max Holloway is going to batter Conor McGregor.
Similarly, Chael Sonnen believes Conor McGregor is facing a significant uphill battle after a long layoff and serious injuries. He argues that ring rust, combined with a move up in weight class, makes McGregor's return even more challenging. In his view, this is less of a straightforward comeback and more of a test against time, physical decline, and whether McGregor can still perform at his previous level. Sonnen explained that athletes returning from major leg injuries are often never quite the same again. He pointed out that after such a long absence, fighters naturally begin to question their own durability, including whether their injured leg can still hold up under pressure and whether their offensive and defensive abilities have changed. He also noted that no fighter has successfully returned after such a long break and immediately performed at the same elite level, especially while also changing weight classes. According to him, McGregor would need to accomplish something unprecedented in combat sports history to succeed in this situation. However, Sonnen also acknowledged that McGregor's past peak form still makes the matchup meaningful. He highlighted that McGregor once defeated Max Holloway, which suggests that even if McGregor has declined, there is still a theoretical case for competitiveness. Sonnen added that since they have already fought before, the rematch carries added significance. On the other hand, Nate Diaz views the potential McGregor versus Holloway rematch as long overdue and expects a much more competitive fight compared to their first meeting. He acknowledged McGregor's early success in their previous bout, but believes both fighters have evolved since then and now bring an equal level of danger into the matchup.